What's up? Welcome to the video. Today we're going to be changing our line out. Changing your line is a simple process, and with the tips I'm about to give you, you'll be a pro at it in no time. First things first, replacing your fishing line on your spinning reel is to get rid of that old line. So I finally made it to the end of our line here, and we can look at our method of tying it on, and this is how it should and will look. It simply cinches on itself, and if you can see here, I pull it to the left, it will start pulling drag out. So I'd say this is a pretty strong way of tying your line, and it doesn't break, but it's fairly easy to take it off. And just like that, we're line free, and our spool isn't cut up by a knife. But if you were unfortunate enough to have line that was tied directly to the spool, you will have to take a knife and try your best not to make a big scratch in your spool. Now for disposal of this old line, I like to put it in a small metal bucket, and I like to give it a douse of gasoline. And then I'll simply let it on fire, have all of this melt, then I don't have to worry about any animals getting caught in it later. Alright, now that we have our reel situated and ready for new line, I'm going to be showing you the knot we're going to be using. The knot we're going to be using is called the double overhand loop knot. And so how I get started is, got my tag end, I'm going to double over my line. Now we're doubled. I'm going to grab both ends, and then we're going to twist and make a loop. Sometimes it doesn't like to cooperate, so you kind of just have to help it. Okay, something like that. If you're doing this and you're planning on putting on your reel, be sure to try and make this knot the smallest you can. And what I mean by smallest, I mean you're going to try to make the loop very small. And then just like that, I came through with the loop. I went through the back twice, and this is where I would wet down my line. Bam, loop knot. So I've gone ahead here and I just made the same simple loop knot. The only difference being is it's a lot smaller of a loop, and I cut off the tag end. But you want the loop to be small, so make sure you make it small. So I have my reel here all ready. I'm gonna take my line right here, and I'm going to take a bite of the main line here, and I'm gonna pass through that loop. Just like that. And now we have a sliding loop knot. We're ready to put it on our reel. We're gonna need to open up this bail, okay, first step, and then you can just put it on. The direction of which way you put it on does matter, and you can find out which way is right and wrong by simply just putting it on there and spinning it. So you can see right there, I'm adding line. And if you do it the other way, it won't work because of the slip mechanism. So if you're spinning around this way, you're just going to spin the line. But if you spin this way, the bite will actually anchor to itself, and now we're going the opposite way, and so it anchors to itself, and that's how you get line on without it spinning. Now I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to start using the actual line I'm going to be putting on this reel, which will be 4-pound mono. Now with most modern reels, they come with print on the side of the spool of line capacity. So you can see right there, 2 pound 200 yards, 4 pounds 120 yards, 6 pounds 90 yards. And that's just the recommendations of the manufacturer of the reel of what you could possibly use given the size of the spool. And before you start reeling, it's always good to keep in mind which way your reel spins. So it looks like mine goes in a counterclockwise fashion. So that means the line is going on in a counterclockwise fashion. To prevent line twists, that means my line's going on in a counterclockwise fashion. What does that mean for our spool we're coming off of? We also want our spool, we want that line to be coming off counterclockwise. So right now, label down, it's coming off this way. We're coming off clockwise. So I'm gonna flip this around, and now we're coming off counterclockwise. I'm gonna get rid of this piece of tape here. It's gonna hang up on me, just right there. And now we're ready to really start reeling. You can go through the first eyelet. By the way, this rod is halved. Took off the other half, so it's just not poking out people's eyes if you are doing this in your kitchen or something. And now that we have our spool coming off in the correct direction, we're ready to start reeling and filling this bad boy up. I'm gonna set this on the ground here, just right next to it, just so it's a little easier. You can run the line through the first eyelet to make it easier too, but I like to hold it. I like to hold the line up on the rod a little bit, and I just put medium pressure. Nothing too heavy. You don't want to go really tight on it, but just medium pressure. And I'm gonna start reeling with the other arm. Alrighty, so I think I'm gonna stop right there. People do say you should have about 1/8 of an inch on that underneath lip right there. And I do have about 1/8 of an inch right there. I might just keep going a little bit more. Honestly, it's better and more safe in sound to have more than less. It's always harder to add more than take away. Alrighty, I'm gonna stop right there. This is how much line I have left. Not too much, but you can see underneath that's the other piece of tape holding down the end. I don't have too much left on here, probably not enough for another spool, but this is great for leader. Alrighty, so here we are, just got done spooling it. I just tied it off on that line tie. And then I like to do an extra step that not a lot of other people like to do. Because maybe they just don't believe in it, or but I like to take off this spool here, and I like to go and I like to put it in some warm hot water. The thought process is that it'll loosen up the molecules of the plastic, and it will more easily conform to this much smaller spool compared to what it was first spooled on. So that's the thought process. I like doing it. I feel like I can tell a difference, but maybe it's just a placebo effect. But some other people don't do it, and they feel like it's fine. And you do you. But I'm gonna go dunk this in some water real quick, and we're gonna pop it back on. Be done. Alrighty, I'm back with this thing from dunking the spool in water. And I got curious, so real quick, I asked ChatGPT. I said, hey, does dunking your spool in warm water, does it help? Does it actually help? And ChatGPT said yes. So for all the people, all the naysayers, dunking your spool in warm water, it does work. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Peace out, and see you next time.